Hey guys, Brandon, ChopIt'N'Roll. Today is a very special day. It's something I've been waiting on for a very long time. But we're switching it up a little bit. Some of you, maybe some of you, remember this if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram. This was a sub box that we had built for my OBS Chevy. It was going to be a blow-through box, 3 Sundown 15s. We were going to put it in the bed, and it was going to be rowdy, but I figured, you know, I'd rather keep at least one of my trucks as a truck instead of, you know, this. But anyway, so here's the scoop. I've got 3 of these U-Series Sundown 15s. These are 1500 watt RMS a piece at one of them, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, since this box was originally built for 3 of these, we're just going to take and basically cut the entire center out and scoot the 2 ends together and have a box for 2 of them, and then I'm going to gift one of these to Carson for Christmas. And 2 of these are going in that car, which I will show you in just a moment. Haha! Almost got you! We'll go over the scoop real quick with this stuff. So I've got an absolute ton of, this is 0 gauge OFC. This is all my power and ground. I'm gonna need that. It's like, it is big. It is big wire. To push these 2 Sundown U-Series 15s at 1500 RMS a piece, I decided to go with a Tercel 3000. The reason behind the choice on this amp is because it was the only one in my area that was available the same day that I could pay cash with, instead of me having to wait for like a week for Amazon to bring me one. And also, it was way cheaper than any of the other 3000 RMS amps. Shout out to Matt. Thanks, bro. On top of that, the whole system is going to be ran separate from the actual car itself. So I've got a place where the AC compressor used to be that I'm going to put this alternator. So I'm going to run the entire system off of a separate alt and battery, so that I'm not draining or hurting the car system at all. So to power this, I've got a 200 amp Ultima battery, or alternator, sorry, which should be plenty for 2 15s at 1500 a piece, especially with 3 capacitors and a bunch of 0 gauge and 4 gauge wire. The car is the Tercel. Yep, that's right. 2 Sundown U-Series 15s are going in this. It should do it should do the job. They're going in the back seat. So,
Or they will become the back seat.
yeah, they'll become the back seat, so I just won't have one. It's a mess in there right now because we're just starting this, so we just pulled the back seat and the passenger seat out, started cleaning everything up so that we can cut the box down, fit it, build some brackets so that it doesn't move and tip and, you know, slide everywhere. And then once we get the box in there and secure, we'll go ahead and start wiring everything up. I've still got to make brackets for the alt on the engine, get another belt. But we've got everything except for the belt, I'm pretty sure. So we should be able to make it happen in a day or 2. So that's basically what this video is going to be about, and we're going to kind of show you the process step by step and bring you along with us. So,
Yep.
Stay tuned.
Yep. Let's chop it and roll.
Yes, sir. Alright guys, so what we're going to do now, since this box is way too long, we measured how much room we've got in the back seat. We've got like a little over 41 inches. So if we cut this center section out and butt these two end pieces together, we're at like 39.5 or something, so it's gonna work out really good. So we're gonna flip this box over and take the bottom panel off, which is one piece, and cut the center section out of this box. That's how the box is going to sit in the car.
Zip.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Flip it over. Yeah. Or maybe. Look at that. Wow.
So right now, I decided to go ahead and start work on the alternator because it's going to be kind of a pain to get the brackets set up the way I need them to. Kind of sucks because it's where the AC compressor used to be, so there's room there, but this is not an AC compressor. So it's going to be like completely different ball game. There's an oil filter and the exhaust and power steering bracket. Right there is where it's going, like this area here. So this should be a lot of fun. So.
Alright, so while Brandon's up there doing his alternator stuff, I'm going to be back here. I'm going to make some panels to go in here, just to clean that up a bit, and same for that side. I'm going to take this cardboard, cut me a nice piece, flush. We've got some Lexan chilling outside. I'm going to cut that, clean the edges off real nice, spray paint the back side of them black. That way they look like a nice gloss finish. Get those in there. I'll make a piece of, we got some woods back here. I'll take that, mount the capacitors to that, wire them up, and then mount those to the back of the box through the trunk. That way I don't have to wire them from, all up in here upside down and inside out and everything. So that's what I'm about to get into. Then, whatever's next after that, we'll get that on video and all that. So that. Alright, I just got this piece fitted in here. Not bad, fits okay. Once everything's blacked out, I think it'll work just fine. So, on to the next one.
It wants to. Alright guys, so I've been working on this alternator. You can see it down there. So none of this is permanent. Most of it is temporary. So what I've done here is I've got this bracket and I drilled holes in it for these ears that come off the bottom. So the alt sits down on this. This is carrying the load. Then I've got this piece of bracket that I bolted that to. This goes up and bolts to the engine block. I know. Everyone is screaming right now. Just wait, okay? This is tight, right? But this gives me, this is mock-up, remember. This gives me adjustment this way, so I can rotate this like this. And I can also swing this bracket in and out to give me adjustments to get my belt alignment correct. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna just keep it like that. So up here, there's a bolt hole on the back of the alt here, and I've got 2 bolt holes here on the block. That one, there's one a little lower. So what Carson's getting ready to do for me is he's gonna cut me a piece of that big fat angle iron right there to come off of probably the lower bolt, which is kind of tucked back there a little bit. But anyway, probably come off that lower bolt and out to that, and that'll give me stability on the alt this way and this way, so that I don't have any issues with it moving. And then I'm probably gonna come off of that bracket, that tail of it right there, up and over to maybe this bolt here or something. Just something that is gonna keep it basically just in a box so that it doesn't, you know, do this stuff. And then eventually, you know, probably like next weekend, I'm gonna have access to a nice welder and stuff, and I'll just go out and buy the material or whatever, and I'll make like a proper bracket for it that isn't bolted together so that it doesn't rattle itself apart while I'm driving down the road or something. But yeah, basically that's the gist of it. And I don't know if you can tell there, but belt alignment is not looking too shabby right now. Hey, it's Brandon back again. As you can see, it's really dark outside. It's because it's like 11 o'clock at night. We've been working on this all day. You guys might be able to see down there, I got this other alt bracket in, went and got a belt and put it on. It's nice and straight, which is great. I wired the pigtail for the harness in. I've got this 4-gauge wire runs back. It's the charge wire for this, since it's a separate system. Runs back here to, this is the same wire right here. So this is going to be the charge wire for this battery, which this is not the battery that I'm going to have in here. Again, this is a mock-up battery. I'm going to have a deep cycle, eventually a lithium. But anyway, we have the amp and cap board in. It's not mounted. This is mock-up. Got the amp and the 2 capacitors. I'm gonna get this all wired up and everything cut to length. Got the fuse here. This is gonna go right here, and then, you know, this is gonna come around and go to there, and then we're gonna have more positive 0 gauge coming out of this, wrap around, boom, straight to the post. And then ground here, obviously from the amp, is going to come to the ground on the battery. Then we're going to ground the battery to the body, because the alt is grounded to the engine, which is then grounded to the body. So I'm probably going to end up having to put another ground from the engine to the body, which is fine, whatever. So Carson's over here.
You don't want to know.
Carson's over here. Looks like he's splicing wires. Anyway, we just, that's the stuff we don't talk about. But impact. Now I marked this box right here, here, and there when I took this piece off. So when I go to put it back on, set it down nice and easy, like so. When I put this screw in, it goes right back into the hole it was in, and this one will go right into the hole it was in, and then the rest of them follow suit. Maybe not that one. That one though. And that's about all there is to seal in the box. Now I do the two ends, the two pieces there on that, on the bottom, and the very back of it. But real quick here, I'm gonna show you guys just in the same video, because why not? There's Carson's ugly mug. It's late right now, so we're all tired. So here's what we're doing, right? Get this light over here out of the way where it's not in the middle of what we're doing here. So here's the battery, okay? This is the ground. So all these grounds here, there's a 0 gauge wire buried in there. Then we've got a body ground, and then there's two capacitor grounds for each capacitor, one per capacitor. So what he's doing here is he's got this light bulb, and we've got one end of this light bulb looks like going to
The positive
to
both capacitors.
Yeah, and then he's
just holding it to the positive post, and basically what it does is.
Oh, okay. I see how you're doing this.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're supposed to charge them up with a resistor from nothing, but if you don't have a resistor, a light bulb is literally the same thing, or this is like a turn signal bulb. So I've just got it on here, and it's slowly charging. We just hit 11 volts.
See what?
And it's just like slow, super slow on both. They're both on.
See if we can get a nice
0.1.
Yeah, nice digit change.
It'll be a minute.
Will it?
Yeah. It's
there.
There it is. Yeah, there you go.
So it's slowly going to charge up to whatever battery voltage is,
yep.
And then that'll hold a charge for.
That'll hold a negative or positive charge, whether it's positive or negative. They store energy, not volts.
Okay.
It's interesting how they work.
Right. See that one up there? That's that one's at 11.2. I'm sure it'll change to 11.3 here in a few minutes or so. But yeah, so that's what Carson's working on, charging up those capacitors so that when we get ready to hook this thing up tomorrow,
yeah, it doesn't drain the battery to nothing.
Yeah, they're just ready to go. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last little snip I did when I was talking about this wiring and stuff, but we tested the alt at this battery to make sure that when I flipped the toggle switch, that it actually turned the alternator on and charged this battery. And it does. And it does it with the toggle switch. So I can turn the toggle off when I'm not using this system. And this battery is not getting a charge, which means no drag on my engine. And when I want to use the system, I flip the switch, which turns the alt on, and it charges this battery, which means I can use that system. Now we're coming in here and we're sealing the actual seam to the panel. See what he's doing? Then he's gonna come in here. He's gonna use his finger. He's gonna mush it in there, spread it out real nice. And it's gonna look good. It's gonna ensure that we do not have any air leaks. And it also helps with the rigidity of this box, which is built super soundly. And it's just gonna help make sure that nothing goes wrong with it.
Yep.
And it doesn't come apart. And if the 15s blow this apart, well, then it's gonna be time for
big honky chonky donk box.
Yep. Everything that you see will then be steel.
Ankle iron and freaking quarter plate.
Yes, sir. It's like, blow that box apart. I dare you. Then it does. No. These two Sundowns won't be that powerful. I think this box will be just fine for what it is. The goal for today is we've got the box. Everything's nice and sealed now. All of this is nice and I wouldn't call it dry, but it's in there. Everything, all the corners, gaps, and everything are filled. It's all filled between the panels on every side. So today the goal is to have this finished. So the box will go in the car right there. We're gonna clean this stuff up, kind of just make it look nice. Sit the box in there, and then we've got to build some brackets for the box itself that go to the car to keep the box nice and rigid in the car, so that, you know, when I'm driving around, I hit the brakes, it doesn't slide forward, or when I turn a corner, it doesn't, you know, try to slide to one side, because the box is going to be pretty top heavy, because as it sits right now is exactly how it's going in the car, which means that these subs, I don't know if you can tell this or not, but these subs will actually sit, like the cone that you see now will be facing into the box. So the back of the sub and the magnet and everything is going to be out of the box, like upwards. So these are going to flip over and then boop on top of the box, which makes this box really top heavy, so it's going to want to tip all the time. So we're probably going to have to come off the top of the box after the subs are in, off of like the corner, the center, and that corner to the deck lid up here to keep it from wanting to go forwards like this. And then we'll probably do some stuff on the front here too, on this nice flat piece on the bottom, to make sure that it doesn't want to kick or slide forwards or anything like that. I think with those up there and down here, we'll be all right. I don't think it's going to move back and forth a whole lot. And then once the box is in and it's securely mounted, we're going to take that back panel back out and probably just lay it down in the back. And then we're going to get all of our wiring for the subs from the capacitors and the amp ran and hooked up. And once that's done, we'll put the back panel back in and we'll securely mount that to right in here. Alright guys, show you what I've been working on. So this plate here that has the two capacitors and the amp on it, it was just sitting in there. It fits pretty good. There's like a little, I don't know, ridge up in there, but that back piece there that you see it's up against, the flat piece right there, this, I'll take you in there in a second and show you what that is. But basically what I did was I drilled a couple holes through the board and then through that back piece, and 3-bolted this. See, there. So this is now solidly mounted at the top, and now I just need to figure out something to keep it from moving like this on the bottom, which is pretty solid. I don't think I'd have any problems with it, but just to be safe, I think I might come with some L brackets, or maybe put a piece here in the center. It's just a flat piece of steel that I can bolt there into the wood. When I bolt it there, it'll suck the bottom of the wood up against the dealio here and make it, well, maybe we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But progress is being made. All right, guys, here we are, another update from the previous. I got the box in. Walk around the other side here. I got the box in this morning, and I got it solid mounted to those 14s. Then I've got some angle coming off, and the same on that side over there too. Then I've got we got the subs in with foam and got the wiring started up on the subs. Now we are in the trunk again, and we're just going to wire everything up to the amp and the battery. We're going to fire the system up and just make sure that everything works like it should. And then if it does, we'll start breaking it in, and we'll tune the amp and everything, and we'll be good to go. So hey guys, so the system is done. It is finally ready. We did, however, change some things. We found we needed more power. Imagine that. So went to, Rural King and bought a big bad deep cycle battery and ran them in series, maybe. I think. I don't know, whichever one still creates 12 volts instead of 24, that's really the only thing that's changed, honestly. Oh, and we also found out that these aren't they're not 1 ohm, they're 2 ohm. So we had them wired 4 ohm because this is a 2 ohm amp. But since they're 2 ohm DVC instead of 1 ohm DVC, we wired them properly. So they're
powered exactly how they're supposed to be.
Yes.
Yep.
So, I guess we have to demo it now. This car is a wreck because, it's my work car. So I drive it to work and stuff. So don't mind the McDonald's bags. Just it usually bogs my engine.
There it goes.
Just turn my other alternator on real quick. Yeah, look at them fangs. All right.
Play one of Nathan's so that we don't get. Yeah. Yep. Play one that freaking smacks.
I'm gonna play plot.
Alright.
It smacks. So to not get copyrighted, I'm gonna play our buddy Nathan. He's a producer. Check him out, GBZ Records on YouTube. He's got some pretty good music. This is a beat that he made recently, so it's got some decent bass. Get my clip meter out. That way I don't overwork the subs, you know what I mean? So because I have neighbors and I'd like to be a little considerate anyway, that's the demo. And I will leave you with that solely because video does not do justice to this, and it never will. Just like anything that is, you know, awesome or anything like that. So I will say, if you'd like to see this, the next Green River show, if you'd like to feel it and witness it in person, the next Green River show, I believe, is November 19th. It's a Saturday. Not this weekend, but the next. I'll be there with this. If you want to come check it out or whatever, show up. It's on Green River Road in front of CC's, called Cruise of the Green. Come check it out. But anyway, I believe that will conclude the work on the 215s and the Tercel for now. In the future, well, you never know what it holds. So we might end up with 2 more in this. You never know. But anyway, that's it for this. I'm Brandon. This is Chop It and Roll. Later.